Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Purana Nyaya Mimamsa Dharma Shastranga Mishritaha Vedaha Sthanani Vidyanam Dharmasya cha Chaturdasha Ayurvedo Dhanurvedo Gandharvaschaiva Te Trayaha Arthashastram Chaturthantu Vidyaha Ashtadashaiva Taha. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Namaste. I welcome everyone who is watching this video. This video is fifth in a new series of videos, in an entire new series brought to you by Indica Bhasha with the well-known Sanskrit professor, but not only Sanskrit, Indian knowledge systems and many facets of Sanskrit literature, the well-known Professor Gauri Mahulikar ji. This series is called Emerging Trends in Contemporary Sanskrit Literature. The first in this series was Contemporary Sanskrit Literature, Introduction to Different Genres. That was followed by Harish Chandra Renapurkar's contributions to Sanskrit. Then we had Patriotic Literature in Sanskrit, which was the third, followed by Biographical Literature in Sanskrit, which was the fourth. Today, the fifth one is titled Contribution of Parikshit Sharma to Modern Sanskrit Literature. The links to the previous four videos, which I just mentioned, can be accessed from the description of this particular video for those who are interested. With those few words, it is my pleasure to welcome Professor Mahulikar ji again to share her views on today's topic, which is contribution of Parikshit Sharma to modern Sanskrit literature. Welcome, Professor.
Hari Om. Thank you, Meghji, and thank you, Indica, for this wonderful opportunity. Let me start with invocation of Saraswati. Surasura Sevita Pada Pankaja Kare Virajat Kamaniya Pustaka Virinchi Patni Kamala Sanasthita Saraswati Nrityatu Vachime Sada. Now, this Parikshit Sharma's contribution to modern Sanskrit literature. Parikshit Sharma was born in 1930 in Andhra Pradesh. Mother tongue is Telugu, and he graduated from Andhra University, and he was given the title Bhasha Praveena. So he was very, comfortable with the Bhashas, Sanskrit, Telugu and others, and English also. Then he did his masters from BHU, and while he did his masters in Sanskrit and Prakrit, MA, he side by side earned, this a degree in ancient Indian history and culture. And later on, he did his MA in English and linguistics from Mumbai University. So from Andhra to BHU to Mumbai, and he worked for some years in Pune also. So he was a polyglot, a multilingual person, Telugu being his mother tongue. By the way, today is the World Mother Tongue Day, right? And I will also speak something in Marathi then. So Marathi and Kannada, of course. So he was expert in Telugu, then English, Hindi, Marathi and Sanskrit. 5 languages he knew. And, he once said that whatever he wants to write, he will write only in Sanskrit. Okay. Because Sanskrit is the most loved language for him. And therefore, whatever he wants to write, he says, Sanskrite kavayaha sarvam sarve moksham prapurna samshayaha. In Sanskrit, all the kavis have got liberated. Okay, moksham prapuhu na samshayaha lilekhishami sarvam hi Sanskrite mokshakanshaya. And therefore, I shall write. I would desire to write lilekhishami. So this is Sannanta, right? Sannanta lilekhishami sarvam hi Sanskrite moksha kankshaya, because I want to get liberated, I will write everything in Sanskrit only. Now, in this book, which Meg was referring to, contemporary trends, emerging trends in contemporary Sanskrit literature, the article on Parikshit Sharma, a very big article, a long and very analytical article, is penned by Dr. Bhagyashri Baure from Mumbai. And she has done a very good job in writing this. She has taken into account so many things. But before we start doing anything in particular, I think what all genres he has touched, he has handled almost every specific genre in the contemporary Sanskrit literature. For example, if we see Kavyeshu Natakam Ramyam, right? And there are Natakas, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27. 27 dramas he has written. And in those 27 dramas, of course, like we say, Upajivya Grantha for all the Sanskrit literature, be it drama or poetry, are the epics and the Puranas, right? So 14 of the plays are based on Ramayana and Mahabharata. 14. Then 6 are historical. 6 are historical, but 7 of them, last 7, they are dealing with the social themes, very prevalent current social themes. So 27 dramas, and that too 7 current themes. Like one of his drama called Parinita is against the dowry system. So he is a 20th century 20th century poet, dramatist, artist. He himself was an actor, director, a poet and singer. He got his music degree as well. So he is versatile. He was versatile. I think he passed away in 2001 or something. So, and before that, he was already had some formal training in the Vedic rituals as well. So not just a university graduate, he is a Gurukula student, a traditional student, and he worked as a priest in a Hindu temple in Ottawa, Canada. So many roles he has done. He has taught, he has acted, he has done the priesthood. So many things he has done. Now, Parinita, I was telling you about the dramas. Parinita talks about the ill effects of dowry system. Then there is one called Panashala, and Panashala, he is, very passionate about Sanskrit. He has resolved that he will write everything in Sanskrit, and therefore he says, this is regarding the primary education, Panashala, and he says that in the primary education, Sanskrit should be introduced as the medium of education. Sanskrit should be the national language. This was once upon a time. Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar also felt that Sanskrit should be the national language, right? So he is very vehemently talking about Sanskrit being the national language. Then in another drama like Prema Pariksha, named Prema Pariksha, he lays importance and emphasis on the mutual love. Like Kalidasa says in Vikramorvashiyam, Taptena Taptamayasa Ghatanaya Yogyam. It is only the heated iron can get united with the heated iron. So the love should be both-sided, not one-sided. And now in this century, we are witnessing one-sided love and killing of the girls, because of that. There are movies also which are misleading people and taking them far away. So on background, he has written a drama on the greatness of mutual love. Then Aparajitam, this talks about the Indian culture, the Sanatana Dharma, the civilizational continuum, which is aparajita, which is not conquered at all. So this is ever victorious, the importance and greatness of the Indian culture. There is a fifth drama called Mati Brahmanam, and this is again very what you can say, funny, in the sense that there are many women, many ladies, girls especially, who take up the banner of femininity and feminism, right? And they want to ape the West for that, and they feel that we are free, we'll do whatever we like and that sort. And then what are the bad effects of that? So the liberated woman, how she behaves, she disrespects all the value system. She disrespects the constitution, the institution of marriage as such. One day she wants for her sexual pleasure, she will stay with somebody, and next day she will go away. I mean, this is like the animal kingdom. So these ladies for them, he has written a drama. This is like, Marathi मध्ये म्हणतात डोळ्यात अंजन घालणारं नाटक. As if you are putting some deadly drops in your eyes so that your eyes become clear. Jeev Daya Netra Prabha. We had this Jeev Daya Netra Prabha when we were very young, and when you put a little drop, it used to burn. Dolyat Anjan Ghalne. But then everything becomes so clear because tears will start flowing and all the malinya would go away. So this drama is something like that. Mati Brahmanam. So her Mati is Brahmita. So she has to be, that modern lady has to be brought back to the value system, the core value system, because of that only our Sanskriti is, continuing even now. And therefore Mati Brahmanam. Then Vayam Panchadikam Shatam, though this occurs in the Mahabharata, right? The Chitrasena Gandharva and that episode, but then he emphasizes the value of unity, and unity in diversity, the harmony, Sangachadvam, Sambadadvam. So we should always go hand in hand and work to achieve one goal, one nation, one goal, like that. And the last of this 7 social theme-based dramas, the last is Nastri Swatantriyam Arhati. And this again here, like that Mati Brahmanam, he takes up the modern lady and how she is carried away by the Western civilization, the consumerism, the materialistic approach, and especially the fashion world. And therefore, half naked and transparent clothes, revealing garments and this and that. So he criticizes all that, especially the fashion for women, and again emphasizing the Sanatana Dharma. So this is all the 27 dramas forms one genre of the Sanskrit literature. Apart from that, there are some kavyas. One kavya is Akshaya Gita Ramayanam. Ramayana is an enchanting poem, Yavasthasyanti Girayaha, right? And therefore, Saritascha Mahitale Tavad Ramayana Tatha Lokeshu Pracharishyati. And therefore, Ramayana is an eternal story, Ramayana does inspire us and places idols before us. So he has composed some poetry, and this poetry he calls it as Saptapadi, as against the Ashtapadi of Gita Govinda of Jayadeva. He calls it as Saptapadi. So every poem has 7 padas in it. So these are the bunch of poetry, Akshaya Gita Ramayanam. Then there is Lalita Gita Lahari. Lalita Gita Lahari, that is Yei Gita Sangraha. So this is a Sangraha, collection of songs which could be sung. And he himself, because he knew Carnatic music and Hindustani music so well, he used to sing his own poems. like in हिंदी में काव्य वाचन वगैरह होता है ना, and especially during holy time, होली के अवसर पर हास्य कवि सम्मेलन ऐसे सब होता है. But in Sanskrit also the काव्य वाचन was popularized during his time, and it is still popular now. We have so many Mithila Prasad Tripathi, Abhiraj Rajendra Mishra, and so many other poets who sing self-composed poems. They just don't recite, they sing the poems. Okay, Bhati Me Bharatam, for example, right? So these are the Saptapadi, he calls it. So Akshaya Gita Ramayana, Saptapadi, then Lalita Gita Lahari, Geya Gita Sangraha. And then there is another genre of poems, that is Lokagita. Lokagita, and that he calls as Janapada Nritya Gita Manjari. Janapada, that is Lokagita. Janapada Nritya Gita Manjari. And for that he says, he has composed these poems in different ragas. Okay. So for example, Jivam Sharadashatam Bhangada Nritya Paddhatya Pahadi Ragena Kavitali Giyate. Kavitali is Kawali. Bhangada Gita Nritya Paddhatya. So this is Janapada Nritya Gita Manjari. So Bhangada Nritya Paddhatya Pahadi Ragena, because that's a vigorous dance, jumping and all that. So Pahadi Ragena Kavitali. For Kavali, he has coined the word Kavitali Giyate. Then from Maharashtra, there is Lavani. For Lavani, he says it is Lavanya Geetam. Lavani is Nritya and Lavani Geeta also. So it is Kafi Ragena Giyate Maharashtra Lavani Geeta Paddhatya. Lavanya Geetam. Then Madhu Geetam, another type, Madhu Geetam, Kafi Ragena Giyate Break Nrityavat, break dance. So break dance, I mean all the modern tap dance, tap dance bolte na wo shoes ka, so tap dance and break dance and all that. I remember many years back, I once went to some few days I used to go to Dadar's this blind school near Dadar station in Mumbai during some strike period or during vacation period. All blind children, but they used to wait for me because I used to teach them certain songs. So one such song, I don't remember it now fully, it is Dhivara Geetam. It is fisherman's song. Aya hire, yahire, yahire, yahi. Yahire, yahi. Na 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 na. So this was the tune, and the children simply used to love that. So there is Dhivaragana also. So all these forms the part of Janapada Nritya Geeta Manjari. Okay. Then he has written Mahakavyas like Yashodhara Mahakavyam. And the Mahakavyas, the themes, the Nayaka and Nayika, which he had chosen, are not so famous. Yashodhara, for example, Siddhartha Gautama's wife, Buddha's wife. There is not any other poem on her, I feel, Yashodhara Geetam, and that emphasizes her agony after Siddhartha leaves her. And before that, there is a romantic scene which Parikshit Sharma describes. And at that night itself, Siddhartha leaves home and takes, he becomes a renunciate, right? He takes a sannyas. So Yashodhara Mahakavyam, and how looking at her son, she gets all the solace in her life and all that. So there is Shrungara and Karuna both, but Karuna is the Angirasa. Yashodhara Mahakavyam, and for this he got the Akhila Bharatiya Kalidasa Puraskar in 1990. Parikshit Sharma. His name is Ogeti Parikshit Sharma. And because of all the works which he produced in Sanskrit literature, he was conferred the titles Pandit. He was a Pandit, Vedic Pandit also. Then Mahakavi, because he has written epic poems. I will talk about 2 more epic poems. And then Girvana Geya Kavimandala Chakravarti. This is the Biruda. Girvana Geya Kavimandala Chakravarti. This is something like, Jayadeva used to call himself Padmavati Charana Charana Chakravarti. Padmavati was his wife, beautiful wife. Padmavati Charana Charana Chakravarti. He used to call himself on the same lines. It is Girvana Geya Kavi Mandala Chakravarti. So Yashodhara Mahakavyam. Then a historical poem, Mahakavya. It is Vijayanagara Samrajya Mahakavya. Now, Vijayanagar Empire is one empire in the 13th, 14th century, which has held high the flag of patriotism and Swaraj. And therefore, even Raja Shivaji, Chhatrapati Shivaji was inspired by this. We know the story, Swami Vidyaranya and Harihara and book. In South itself, especially, it's very famous. So it gives his patriotic spirit. We have done patriotic literature earlier, but Vijayanagara Samrajya Mahakavyam is written in the full patriotic spirit by him. There is another very great, very huge, very long, lofty Mahakavya, and that is Prataparanayanam on Maharana Pratap of Mewad. Maharana Pratap of Mewad, and this has 80 sargas, cantos, 80 sargas. Can you imagine how many verses? But then for simplicity, he divided them into 6 kandas. Like, Ramayana is divided into the kandas. So he has done it in the 6 kandas, and the 6 kandas are like the Mewad Kanda and all that, so many Dilli Kanda, Mewad Kanda. Yeah, Mewad Kanda is first, then Udaya Kanda. Mewad Kanda is the benedictory and the introduction part of that, and listing the names of the predecessors of Rana Pratap, like Bappa Raval, Hammir, and all those people, By the way, there is one Hammir Charitam, a historical poem, Hammira Deva Charitam. Then I have written a paper on Hammira Deva. Udaya Kanda, this Kanda is important because it has a sketch of Rana Pratap and how he is emerging as a hero who never compromised with anything, never compromised with his principles and all. So that is the Pratap Singha and his famous horse Chetaka, right? His famous horse Chetaka. So that is Udaya Kanda. Then Aranya Kanda, when he resorted to the forest, he fled away, but he did not succumb to Akbar, and how he suffered in the forest. So all that Aranya Kanda. So many heroic exploits of Rana Pratap are described in this Kanda, like vanquishing of Asaf Khan, Farid Khan, Abdullah, Firoz Khan, etc. And his friendship with the leader Mahu belonging to a Bhilla tribe. He stayed with the Bhillas. He ate with them. There are stories of Rana Pratap living with them in a very simple manner. And then there is Delhi Kanda. Delhi Kanda, shifting the focus from Rajasthan to Delhi again. And a graphic picture of Akbar's lifestyle, his plans, and the character sketch of Raja Man Singh, though a Rajput, how he became a slave of King Akbar, And he was the general of Akbar, and that is well contrasted with another Rajput hero, Maharana Pratap. So this is the Delhi Kanda. Then Haldi Ghat Kanda, Haldi Ghat Ki Ladai, very famous in the history, and most extensive and interesting Kanda of this epic Prataparanayanam is this one. Pictorial description of Haldi Ghati battle brings out Veera Rasa at its best, and the courage shown by Rana Pratap, the heroic fights of Chetak, and his sad demise for the cause of his master. Chetak dies, for the cause of his master, represented by Pandit Ogeti Sharma with intense expressions. And here, the courage of Pateshwari, wife of Rana Pratap, is vividly depicted. And then the last is Vijaya Kanda. This Kanda is significant as it highlights the victory of Rana Pratap in the form of his continuous struggle against Akbar. He gets a helping hand from Bhamashahi and proceeds with his victory march. In his declining age, he coronates his son and addresses his followers for the last time. And the epic poem thus concludes by stating the unending mission carried by this hero for his entire life. And therefore, he has named it as Vijaya Kanda. So this for this Prataparanayanam in 1991, he was awarded the famous Sahitya Academy Award. Okay, Prataparanayanam. And I remember what is the birth date of Prataparanayanam. I don't remember it now, but I used to tell it during my manuscriptology classes. How he has brought in that factor of dating of anything or anybody, the birth date, etc. He has given it in a cryptic terms. Like, for example, when we say that Bhaskaracharya composed Lilavati while he was 36, Bhaskaracharya writes in Lilavati, Rasagunamaye Varshe Maya Lilavati Virachita. Rasa is 6 and Guna is 3 and Ankanam Vamato Gatihi, and therefore it becomes 36 and not 63, right? So Rasa Gunamaye Varshe. In that manner, Rana Pratap's birth date is given by Parikshit Sharma. So he has knowledge of so many things, so many types of Sanskrit literature, even manuscripts. He is not away from that. So all these, so he has written dramas, he has written poems, the Lokakavya, the Lokagita, the Mahakavya, and he has written an autobiography called Kalaya Tasmai Namaha. When I was in Mumbai University, I remember we have had this Kalaya Tasmai Namaha, a part of that for in a paper of modern Sanskrit literature. So many of the universities all across the nation, they have some or the other literature of Parikshit Sharma as a portion for syllabus in their syllabus, right? So this is Parikshit Sharma. And then, about this Yashodhara Mahakavyam. Yashodhara Mahakavyam is very important in the sense that nobody has dared to write anything about this neglected character so far. And Parikshit Sharma, for the first time, he said it. He Bacha fodli ticha dukkhala, what we say is. Etadrisham kavya vastu kenapyevam na nirmitam. Till now, in the very first chapter, he says, very first sarga, Prastutam Deva Bhashayam Virachayeyam Mudakriti. And therefore, in Deva Bhasha, I am going to compose this poem. And of course, the theme he derives from, not from our Ramayana Mahabharata, but from Ashwaghosha's Buddha Charita, and he pays his due respect to Ashwaghosham Priyam Naumi Kavindram Bauddha Darshakam Buddha Kavya Pranetaram Shabdartharthik Bhasuram. So paying his homage to Ashwaghosha's Buddha Charita, and then he says that even Ashwaghosha did not do justice to Yashodhara. Ashwaghosha pranitecha kavye naivam vilokita Yashodhara Buddha Patni pramukhyena manasvini. In fact, he has counted there are only 11 verses which in Ashwaghosha he describes Yashodhara, and here we have hundreds of verses on Yashodhara in the Mahakavya. So Karuna Rasa, which is, normally Veera and Shrungara, these are the most favorite of the Sanskrit poets, but then he goes a little bit away from the traditional norms of the Sanskrit writers, Sanskrit poets, and writes a poem as Karuna being the Angirasa and choosing Nayika instead of a Nayika. There is no Nayaka here. Nayika is more important. Yashodhara. Of course, Buddha comes in, but he is like little bit subordinate position. Nayika is Yashodhara. So these are certain deviations going away from the traditional norms, but that sort of nature he has because he feels that the character demands that justice from some author. In the first canto itself, while describing the beauty of Himalaya, there he uses so many alankaras like utpreksha, then simile, upama and all that. So there comes a very beautiful simile. Tarangini, this is the description of the river Rohini. River Rohini, I don't know, in the Himalayan region, river Rohini, and comparison of the riverbed with a sacred thread, Yajnopavita. So that is the Upama. Tarangini Fenilahasini sa. Tarangini is a nadi. Tarangaha santi asyam iti Tarangini. Tarangini Fenilahasini. Fenil, the foam. The foam, white foam, gathering at the corners of these waves and all. So that is as if laughter, smile, because it is a Kavi Praudhokti in Sanskrita Sahitya. Always the smile is compared to white color. Okay. So Fenila Hasini. Tarangini Fenila Hasini sa Tatha Pavitra Lasate Nagendre Yaya Yatha Girishasya Suvama Bhage Yajnopavitam Paramam Pavitram. Yajnopavitam Paramam Pavitram. And then there are there is a nice utpreksha there, in the Kapilavastu, the Rajadhani of Buddha, Siddhartha. So many people were engaged in different kalas, the performing arts. Kalas is performing arts. But kala also means the digit of the moon. So there is a pun on this. And then he says, Kalamayam tat patanam vilokya Kalasurakta sakala babhasire tada kasha vihari chandrama kala vihinah timirayate riya. Looking at those kalas, the kalanath Chandrama became kala vihina. What kala I have? Here are the real kalas, So riya, due to lajja, due to shame, he went into darkness. So very beautifully he has said that. So, I mean, what I mean to say is there are so many such things, that he describes. So I got this book, Parikshit Nataka Chakram, from the library, and this depicts a wheel with 9 spokes, and every spoke has three dramas. The first letter of that, so ma, va, na, ka, shra, pa, etc. So these are the 27 dramas. And see, the author is so, what you can say, has impressed the contemporary writers that he has got an introduction from Dr. Govinda Keshav Bhatt, who was my professor in Elphinstone College, and later on he retired from Bori Bhandarkar Institute. And it has got a prastavana from G.B. Palsule, the director of Bori. And this is really very, I mean, fortunate. Our author is very fortunate to have these two great authors, and both dedicated to Sanskrit dramaturgy as such. Now, Parsule has written in a very chaste Sanskrit language. He has given the Prastavana, and he says there must be two objectives of Parikshit Sharma before writing all such dramas and all. One is, एकस्तावत् सुबोधस्य प्रयोगक्षमस्य संस्कृतस्य निर्माणम्. Subodha, very easy, and the thing which can be enacted, which can be brought on the mancha. It could be manchiya pradarshana. For that he has made this. And second is Swasanskrutehe Puraskaraha Parakiya Paschatya Sanskruteischa Bhayavahatva Pradarshanam. And the second objective is that propagating our own culture and bringing out the evil effects of aping the Western culture and all that. And he himself in his prologue, Parikshit Sharma, says that aparitoshad vidusham, as Kalidasa has given, na sadhu manye prayoga vijnanam, and balavadapi shikshitanam atmani apratyayam chetaha. So he leaves it to the readers. And in the Purovak, Pranjali Ranatosmi, there are a few verses he has composed, some 27 verses. And Pranjalihi Anatosmi, how I bow down to the people, the connoisseur, the reader. And he says, Omkara Rupena Virajamanam, Vishwatmikam Vishwamanodnya Rupam, Virat Swarupam, Priya Vishwabhasham, Namamitam, Bharata Bhavyavani. So I just feel that more and more people should come forward to read this. Only a few things which Parsule has brought out. This is not in criticism, but how regional language sometimes, overpowers or has some impact while Sanskritizing certain names, And therefore, when he Sanskritized the names, English names like shirt, pant, suit, and boot, he calls them shirtu, pantu, boot, sutu. That is U Bahula. Telugu is U Bahula Bhasha, and therefore that comes in there. Of course, these words are not prevalent in the Sarala Sanskrita nowadays, but then these are certain that how the regionality of one's own mother tongue that comes invariably, and it affects the Sanskritization of some of the English words. But leaving that aside, Parikshit Sharma's writings are really enjoyable. He writes in very simple language. He himself says that I don't want to bother and harass people with samasa bahulatva. And therefore, samasa vigraham kritva. I simplify that and write in a simple language. And Sanskrit, to popularize that, what we need is simplicity of the language so that it becomes accessible to all. So I feel Parikshit Sharma has really immensely contributed to the modern Sanskrit literature and so many genres which we are discussing. So thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much again, Dr. Mahulikar, for the fifth edition, the fifth video in this series called Emerging Trends in Contemporary Sanskrit Literature. If you can hold up that book again.
Yeah, sure.
Or the viewers who haven't seen it. If you have not yet purchased this book, buy it. Gauri ji, as you can see, is one of the editors of this volume. And today's title was Contribution of Parikshit Sharma to Modern Sanskrit Literature. Today's video's topic. The previous four, as I mentioned at the top of this video, the first one was Contemporary Sanskrit Literature, Introduction to Different Genres. The second was Harish Chandra Renapurkar's contribution to Sanskrit. That was followed by Patriotic Literature in Sanskrit, and finally Biographical Literature in Sanskrit, which was the fourth before the one we recorded today. The links to all of these four can be accessed from the description for those who would be interested in any or all of them. With those few words, I once again express my thanks and gratitude to Professor Mahulikar for sharing her views on today's topic. And I look forward to coming back with the next installment in this series very soon. Thank you so much, Professor.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om.